good? Nope. Alright, so it's been a month, so we're doing these devlogs monthly now. Forgot to mention that in the last devlog. I did put it in the description of the YouTube video, but I didn't actually mention it anywhere in the video, which I had meant to do that, but oh well. Now you know.
The more you
So yeah, so in the last month, I don't remember exactly if I talked about this at all in the last video. I know we did a lot of rambling and ranting about stuff, but I don't know how much I actually talked about what I intended to do. But in the one before that, I know I had mentioned things uh, about resource spawning and how I intended to do that, multi-threading and all that shit. Well, I've done that twice now, actually, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. Why I've done it twice, but I'll just hit play here. You actually can't see because I'm not streaming my normal way, but you can just pretend like you're seeing what I'm doing. But if I hit play here, it'll be the loading screen, and you can see there distributing veins of blah, whatever the resource name is, and it's not capitalized. I forgot to do that. Anyway, so this takes around 20 seconds, give or take. But basically what this is doing in the back end is it's running a Perlin noise generator for each type of resource. And I have not gotten around to getting the grid visualizer ported over. Again, I'll talk about that in a second, but I've not gotten to that yet. But just kind of take my word for it that all of the resources are now spawned into the world in a big clumps, basically, which are more concentrated towards the center. I did mention this 2 devlogs ago. I mentioned how I intended to do that, and the way I have it set up now is apparently going to crash my game, so I can't actually show you. So that's fun. Yeah, I actually just, like, right before you got in to do this devlog, I, like, started the game for a little bit, and typically I don't run the game for more than maybe 30 seconds at a time to test whatever I'm working on. Right, so yeah. I didn't notice, but then I had the game up for that long, just sort of sitting there, like, recording, just waiting to record anyway, and it crashed. And I was like, well, great, that's awesome. Like, nothing like having a random spontaneous crash, like, right before you intend to record, and look how great I am, look at what I'm doing on this game.
Yeah.
But I think so. I just commented this out, this line there. That was what was causing it ultimately. And not totally sure why exactly it's crashing, but I have an idea. It's one of those things, like, and I'll just talk about this now because basically the resource distribution and this is all I've done in the month is I'm porting the entire project over to a new engine version, first of all, but also using...
Wait, it is?
Yeah. I actually didn't tell you that until right now. But yeah, it's. I figure as long as I'm gonna do this, why not go to the new version? Because we're doing everything over, basically anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So why not upgrade to a new version? But the main focus is we're doing everything almost exclusively in C++ now, as opposed to Blueprint. If you watched the last devlog, we have many issues with Blueprint and C++, to be fair. Like, spontaneous random crashing for almost no good reason. But ultimately, I like it better. I prefer to code in text like this.
Yeah.
And
it does feel a bit better.
Yeah.
Compared to
so it's not all the way over yet. There's a few things. Probably in the next week, I'll have the whole thing ported over and ready to go. And at the same time, I've also been doing a bit of a refactor because this was basically our first foray into the Unreal Engine pretty much at all. Like we just sort of went for it. We're just like, we want to make this game, we want to use Unreal Engine, go. We didn't know what we were doing at first, and what that meant was there's garbage and shit just all over the place in our old version of this, and it's an absolute nightmare to work in. And so I wanted to fix that. And if you've ever worked in Unreal, like moving shit around and rearranging directories is no simple task in Unreal. You can't just go into Windows and like move the folders around. Doesn't work. Doesn't like that. There's a good chance your project won't even load if you do that. So I've just done this, and I've just we've actually got a proper style guide going now, and so we've actually. Which is something we should have had from the beginning, but again, like, we didn't know.
Just like,
And now we
ooh,
do.
We got a proper system going now.
Yeah, it's awesome. And now we know where everything is. Everything has a rule for why it is in a place. It's not just like whatever developer
Felt like
happened
it.
to be working on it. It's like, that seems like a place this should go, and then it's like 3 different places for the same thing, which was a complete nightmare. But now it's all laid out in a way that is based on actual rules for where things should go, and the end result is a much cleaner project. The new engine, by the way, has a lot of performance improvements. I've noticed the editor itself, when I'm doing shit in the editor, it runs a lot smoother and doesn't crash as much, so credit where it's due. That said, working in C++, you do become more prone to that shit, unfortunately. So it's a bit of a trade-off, I guess. All that being said, the porting process has been remarkably easy compared to what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a nightmare. I thought it was going to be an absolute bitch to get this thing moved all the way over to C++, but it's actually not really that bad. You just kind of open the old project. All right, what is this blueprint doing? Translate it to code, compile, add semicolons where you forgot them, and then done. Also, hi, dogs.
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 They just want to be a part of the video too.
That's okay. Dogs are always welcome. So there's a few things, like I said, that I haven't gotten ported over yet. Much of the menus are still there in theory, but they're not hooked up yet, in other words. Because, we're using the Blue Eye. We're using like web-based menus and for that. So all of that code still exists, and it's still completely usable. There's nothing wrong with it. So all I have to do is then, like, all the stuff we were taking from the blueprinted version of character before, I have to then translate that over to getting it from the C++ character. And I've not done that on any of the menus yet, with the exception of the... Here. I'll just launch the game. But it's the little bar at the bottom where you have placed entities that you can actually place into the world in your storage. That does work. So that is ported over. So yeah.
Yeah, that's all pretty good.
Loading screen. It's just there we go.
Ah.
Okay. So yeah, you can place a mine, etc. Whatever. If I hold it over here, it's probably gonna crash because that's right here. I've noticed resources don't spawn up in this corner. It's just how the generation works for this particular seed that we're using. But over here it spawns some. If I put it over here like I did last time, it'll probably crash. Not totally sure why. Whatever. I swear to God, it didn't crash before. Like I was working with this like earlier today, like when I was porting this over, I was like, okay, like let's add resource generation and mining, and I did, and like I placed a mine over where I know a resource was, and it just started mining. It was completely fine, and then I go to record the devlog, and of course, it doesn't work. It crashes. Yep, there we go. Bye.
It wouldn't be showing something off to someone if it didn't fuck up.
Oh,
when
of
you're doing
course. It's the curse of demonstrating.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Just wanted to throw that one out there. We're porting it over to the new version. That should be done in about a week, and then I've got a bunch more. Then we can start actually adding things. We're gonna sit down at some point and determine like what constitutes a releasable game, um, and then establish sort of a development schedule, which we will then proceed to not follow at all and get behind and backlogged and whatever. It's fine. It's software development. It's super fun. But anyway, that's all I got. Anything you want to ask or say? Comments?
What version is it going to move from?
It's the most recent at the time, which is already not the most recent. Now it is 4.14.1. There is currently we could upgrade to 4.14.2 because that's just a hot fix for some things. It doesn't actually change much of anything, so we could do that. But yeah, when I started, 4.14.1.
And we're moving from 4.9 something, right?
4.9.2, yeah. So it's quite a big jump. And like I said, the editor seems to be a lot smoother. Part of that just could be because there's less shit in it, because I haven't ported everything. So we'll see.
I mean, it doesn't. I remember reading like when we were first starting. Like I don't know how true it is, but the transition to C++, isn't that mean better performance? Or
it's been stated time and again by Epic that blueprints are 10 times slower than C++.
Yeah.
But in practice, that's not usually true. In practice, they're usually damn close, with the edge going to C++ in most cases. So as far as like, there's not, believe it or not, a lot of things we do that are super performance dependent. Probably the only thing I can really think of that we'd want to optimize for sure would be like resource spawning, and then of course later on the line, like loading and saving different parts of the universe because it is infinite. We'll have to tackle that, but beyond that, nothing we've really done is going to see a major, like, it's not like we're going to gain 20 FPS by going to C++. It's just not going to happen.
Okay. Yeah. I was just curious.
Yeah.
I knew it probably wouldn't be like 20 FPS increase, but I didn't know if like it's just like if we would gain a small little bit of it.
Yeah. Don't think so. I think most in terms of like just client performance, FPS and all that, you're really just looking at what are you rendering, how many draw calls and all that, and that doesn't really matter whether you're doing that on Blueprint or C++. To my knowledge, anyway. I could be wrong, but I don't see how it could matter. So I don't. And then of course the optimization of the assets themselves, LODs and all that. But again, that's on the assets, and that's on like the rendering side of things. That's not really so much C++ versus Blueprint. So.
Right.
Okay, if there's nothing else, then you are the outro man, of course. That's
yeah.
why you're here.
Well, I mean, yeah. Hope by next time I should be able to like present something. Mainly because like I'm getting to that point where I'll have to start making the UI for the trade system and shit like that.
That's good. That's good. And that's one part that I haven't tackled at all for porting yet, but I also don't think it's going to be that hard, is space stuff.
It's space stuff?
Yeah. Realistically, all I have to do is assign actors to planets and stars, and then ships, but get them back to where they were, which is not super far in, because not a lot of attention, not a lot of love has gone into that whole thing, so I can just do that, and that should be within this week, same as anything else.
Okay. Yep. Okay, so alright, for the outro. What we got here? We got Okay. Always the struggle of the devlog.
Of course.
I think
But it's
I
also the charm. We're never gonna not do it this way. Like 20
think
years from now, no matter who's doing the devlogs at the time, we're just gonna bring you in every single time we do one, just so you can stutter and stumble through the outro every time.
all right.
Maybe by then you'll be good at it.
I'm about to pull it off, right? Like, I'm hyping myself up. I'm ready. Fucking, like, you know, the lack of tittles right now. We got this.
There's
Okay.
only one person judging you.
Exactly. Okay, so if you like what you see here and you like what we're doing, you can support us on Patreon. We stream Twitch Tuesday through Saturday. Wait, no. Fuck me. Okay, we don't. It's not through. I still have it written down as through. Shit. Alright, Blood. Round 2, right? Round 2 is not so bad.
Yeah, you're still okay. You're still within the average for you.
Yeah, right. Okay. So, all right. So if you like what you see and you like what we're doing here, you can support us on Patreon. You can subscribe on YouTube, follow on Twitter, like and follow on Facebook. And we've been greenlit, so that's nice. And we stream Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday on Twitch.
Nice.
There we go. It's getting hot in my room.
See you next time.
Yeah, see you next time.